So, have you ever been in a situation, maybe a challenging project at work, and you hear someone say, "We have a communication problem"?
Oh, absolutely. All the time.
And instinctively, we all sort of nod, right? Because it feels like this solid, fixed thing.
Yeah, like a broken part, something static that needs fixing.
Right. It's a completely natural human response, I suppose. Our minds, they're kind of wired to categorize, aren't they? To label things
Definitely. We turn experiences into these static problems into nouns.
instead of seeing them as, well, dynamic things,
Right.
processes.
Exactly. Processes that are constantly in motion, evolving.
And that's precisely the instinct we want to challenge today.
Yeah.
Our deep dive is into a really revolutionary approach, suggesting reality and even our own minds are much more about dynamic processes than these fixed objects we perceive.
It's fascinating stuff. We're drawing insights from process-oriented thinking, a QPT approach by Carlos E. Perez.
A really unique lens, it seems.
And what's truly transformative about this perspective is that it's not just theory, you know?
Right, not just academic.
No.
Yeah.
It suggests that by subtly shifting how we fundamentally think,
Shifting from what? From objects to?
from objects to flowing processes, that shift, it says, can unlock profound levels of intelligence
Wow.
and unleash greater creativity, even transform our whole relationship with reality itself.
So our mission today then is to unpack how thinking in terms of verbs instead of nouns can, well, maybe change everything for you listening.
That's the goal. Let's dive in.
Okay. So most of us, and I definitely include myself here, are deeply trained in what you called noun thinking. We categorize, we label, we say things like, I have a thought, or I possess knowledge.
Or even, I am a thinker, like
Yeah.
it's a fixed identity.
Exactly. And that language, while it seems harmless, it subtly shapes how we see things, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. It creates this kind of static metaphor, like the mind is just a container.
A filing cabinet, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Like your brain's just a rigid filing cabinet for thoughts.
Mm.
And that limits our flexibility. And honestly, it limits our creative potential because everything feels so fixed, so permanent.
That makes a lot of sense, actually. If I have a problem, it feels like the static wall I'm facing.
Right.
But if I'm problem solving, suddenly I'm active, I'm doing something.
Yes. It feels more empowering immediately.
Yeah.
And this is where physicist David Bohm's insight becomes incredibly relevant.
Oh.
He proposed something quite startling, that the fundamental nature of reality itself is wholeness in movement.
Wholeness in movement.
Yeah, think about it. From the quantum level, where particles are more like active events than little things.
Right. Not tiny marbles.
Not tiny marbles, no.
Yeah.
All the way up to living systems, which maintain their identity through constant change, constant flow.
Like us, our bodies are constantly changing.
Precisely. And our own consciousness, it's undeniably a flow of awareness, isn't it?
It really is.
So reality at its very core, Bohm argued, is far more verb than noun.
Okay, so if reality is flowing and our minds are flowing, then shifting to verb thinking isn't just some philosophical tweak.
No.
It's more like a practical alignment with how things actually are.
Exactly. It's getting in sync.
So how does this translate? Like, what are the real benefits for us day to day?
Well, by embracing verb thinking, you dramatically increase your sense of agency.
Agency, meaning control or influence.
More like participation. You become someone who does thinking, who engages with knowledge actively.
Ah, okay. Not just someone who has thoughts or passively possesses information.
Right. And that shift brings this incredible fluidity to situations that maybe felt stuck before. It enhances creativity because you're tapping into that underlying generative flow, the source of ideas.
Before they become fixed ideas?
Exactly. And it deepens your presence, your engagement with the moment, because you're participating in reality, not just observing it from the sidelines.
That sounds incredibly freeing and powerful. Now, the source we're looking at, this RMQPT, it actually introduces some new verbs to help us kind of kickstart this verb revolution in our own minds.
It does. And these aren't just synonyms for words we already have. They're designed to capture a very specific, active mental operation.
Okay.
Something our usual English words don't quite nail. The first one is called livate.
Levate, Levate.
That's right. It means to lift into awareness.
Lift into awareness.
Like, think of that moment when something that was unconscious or just below the surface gently rises into your conscious perception.
Okay.
So instead of saying, I'm paying attention to my breathing, which can feel a bit like a chore, right?
Yeah, like forcing it.
You practice. I livate my breathing. It shifts the internal feeling.
From spending attention to what? Actively participating.
Yes, participating in the emergence of awareness itself.
Huh. That distinction is fascinating. It feels less like effort, more like allowing something.
That's a great way to put it, allowing.
Okay. The second verb is vidate. V-I-D-A-T-E.
Correct. Vedati means to see directly.
Directly,
Yeah.
without thinking about it first.
Exactly, without intellectual filtering or analysis. It's that instant intuitive grasp.
Ah, like when a solution just clicks.
Precisely, before you've even worked through all the logical steps. So instead of saying, I have an insight,
Which sounds like you found something.
right, you might say, I vidate the pattern.
Yeah.
It emphasizes the direct, active perceiving of truth or clarity.
Okay, vidate. Got it. And then there's dividate. D-I-V-I-D-A-T-E. This one sounds like making sense of complexity.
It absolutely is. Dividate means to create distinctions.
So parsing things out?
Yes, it's the active process of taking that continuous flow of experience and parsing it into discrete, understandable, workable elements.
Okay.
So rather than just saying, I see the difference, which is passive,
You'd say
I dividate the options. You become the active creator of clarity.
carving out meaning from the stream.
Exactly. You're the agent making sense of potential confusion, not just receiving it passively.
That feels much more proactive. Okay, and the last one, ordinate. O-R-D-I-N-A-T-E.
Yes, ordinate. This means to create order and relationship between elements.
Ah, so connecting the pieces after you've dividated them.
Precisely. It's the dynamic process of organizing those disparate pieces, information, experiences into a meaningful, coherent pattern or structure.
So when you're learning something new, trying to make sense of it,
You could practice, I ordinate these concepts. You're actively building the structure, creating the meaning, not just passively receiving it.
this really isn't just about changing words, is it? It feels like it changes your whole relationship to your own mind.
That's the core idea.
Let's take a common experience, like trying to remember someone's name.
Okay.
With traditional noun thinking, you might say, oh, I've lost the memory, or my mind is blank.
Right. It feels like something's broken or missing. Very static.
Yeah. But imagine shifting to process thinking here. What would you say?
Well, you might say, I'm searching the memory flow, or I'm trying to elevate different associations.
Ah. The language itself gives you agency back.
Exactly. And it opens up options. You're no longer passively stuck. You're actively engaged in a process of retrieval.
Or, okay, facing a difficult decision, instead of just, listing pros and cons on paper, which can feel very flat, you could vidate the different flows involved, like the emotional flow, the logical flow.
Yes. And maybe levate the underlying values that are important.
And then ordinate the priorities as they start to emerge.
Precisely. You're allowing the solution pattern to clarify itself through your active engagement, rather than trying to force an answer onto it.
It really does feel like unlocking some kind of hidden intelligence we all have.
That's a good way to describe it.
Okay, so building on these verbs, RMQPT also suggests that thinking itself isn't just a series of these actions, but it's an interplay of 5 fundamental flows.
Yes, flows that underpin all cognitive activity. Think of them as the mind's basic movements.
All right, what's the first one?
The first is recognition flow. This is the flow of becoming aware.
Becoming aware.
Yeah, where possibilities first emerge into consciousness. It's that aha moment.
Oh, okay. Like when something hidden suddenly clicks.
Exactly. Something implicit becomes explicit. A sudden realization or seeing that hidden image in one of those complex pictures.
Got it. Recognition flow. What's next?
Then we have transformation flow. This is the flow of change itself.
Actual change happening.
Yes, where existing patterns shift, evolve, recombine into new forms.
So creative insight or a perspective shift.
Absolutely. That feeling of a breakthrough when something that was stuck suddenly moves forward, that's transformation flow.
Okay, then.
Next is pattern flow. This is the flow of organizing, of structuring.
Where meaning starts to emerge.
Yes, where meaning emerges from what might initially seem like chaos.
Like scattered thoughts suddenly lining up into an argument.
Or a vague feeling crystallizing into a specific emotion you can name. You're not just making a pattern, you're experiencing meaning emerging through that flow.
Interesting distinction. Okay, pattern flow. And then there's one called Quaternion flow. That sounds complex.
It is a bit meta, yeah. Quaternion flow is the process where all the other flows interact and integrate.
Ah, bringing it all together.
Right. It creates higher order coherence. It's about holding complexity without getting confused.
Like holding multiple perspectives at once.
Exactly. Or integrating apparent opposites experiencing that deep sense of wholeness when different ideas suddenly fit together perfectly.
Okay. Quaternion flow. And the last one.
Finally, self-recursive flow. This is the flow of self-awareness itself.
Metacognition. Thinking about thinking.
Basically, yes. Consciousness observing its own process.
It's like when you suddenly realize you're lost in thought.
Or when you become aware of your own breathing, as we mentioned with levate. It's the mind reflecting on its own movements.
Okay, those 5 flows. Recognition, transformation, pattern, quaternion, and self-recursive.
And this linked us straight back to David Bohm, actually, to his concept of the hollow movement principle. He described reality as this undivided totality of flowing process. Everything emerges from it. He used specific notation. But the core idea is that any process has 2 aspects. An implicate aspect.
Implicate meaning hidden. Potential.
Exactly. The hidden, enfolded potential. And an explicate aspect.
Which is the manifest, the visible part.
Right. The actual thing we see or experience. But crucially, these aren't separate things. Both emerge from that fundamental undivided flow of the hollow movement.
So often we just focus on what's right in front of us, the obvious bit, the explicate problem.
You do.
This is kind of saying that the solutions, the breakthroughs, they're often lurking in the shadows, in that hidden potential.
That's a key insight. They're waiting for us to look differently, to tap into that implicate order.
It's a powerful invitation to look beyond the surface of things.
Definitely.
And that idea of hidden potential, it leads us neatly into the next part. The 4 fundamental dimensions of process.
Right. Every process, thinking, creating, living, seems to move through these dimensions, like facets of a dynamic crystal, as you said.
Okay, what are they?
First, there's flow. Pure movement, change, openness.
Like brainstorming. Yeah. Raw ideas.
Exactly. Spontaneity, the raw current of possibility.
Okay. Dimension 1, flow.
Second is transform. This is about intentional change. Breakthroughs.
The aha moments. Yeah. Or making a big decision.
Yes. Paradigm shifts. Conscious restructuring. Directed change.
Got it. Transform.
Third dimension is pattern. This is where structure comes in. Organization, coherence.
Finding the logic. Creating frameworks.
Precisely. Meaning, logic, repeatable processes. The drive for order.
Pattern. Okay. And the 4th.
Finally, wholeness. This is about integration. Unity, completeness.
The big picture.
Synthesis.
Yes. Wisdom, deep connection, seeing how everything fits together, profound coherence.
Flow, transform, pattern, wholeness.
Okay. Now here's where it gets really interesting, I think. Most people, most systems, try to optimize for just one of these at a time. You know, be purely creative or purely organized.
Right, you can't be both, supposedly. But RMQPT suggests the real magic, the engine of innovation and deep insight, isn't in avoiding the tension between these dimensions.
But in embracing it.
Exactly, embracing the creative tensions between them.
So tension isn't the problem, it's the source.
It's the creative force, yeah.
Okay, let's explore one. What about the tension between flow and transform? Openness and, well, making decisions?
Right, the slow transform tension, it's incredibly dynamic. The source calls the result directed creativity.
Directed creativity.
It's the challenge. How do you stay open to completely new, spontaneous ideas flow while also making concrete decisions and driving things forward, transform?
Like a startup needing constant innovation, but also needing to ship a product.
Perfect example. Instead of choosing innovation or execution, you learn to ask, how can we sustain spontaneous ideation while consistently moving towards clear, transformative results?
That's powerful. It's not either, or it's how to do both. Which I guess leads to the next tension in transform pattern. Innovating and maintaining structure.
Precisely. This tension fuels what's called evolutionary development.
Evolutionary development.
How do you make breakthrough changes? Transform. Within existing stable structures, pattern. Honoring what works while still evolving.
Like a big company needing agility, but also having reliable systems.
Exactly. It's not about burning everything down for the new. It's about smart, adaptive growth within the existing form.
This sounds like the core idea is this art of both and.
It really is.
A huge shift from our usual either thinking. It's not A or B. It's finding a way for A and B to coexist, maybe even create something new.
Yes. Think of the Aikido principle.
Aikido? How so?
Instead of opposing an incoming force head-on, you blend with it, redirect its energy, use it to create a new outcome.
Ah, I see. So instead of asking, should I prioritize efficiency or creativity?
which often leads to a compromise where neither is fully
Let's
realized.
do ask.
What would efficient creativity actually look like?
Right.
Or how can we be both highly disciplined and incredibly spontaneous,
Huh.
finding the synthesis?
And the source has a specific term for this. Fluid resolution.
Yes, X is Y is Z. The notation just means two seemingly conflicting things, X and Y, in dialectical tension,
Held with that both-hand mindset.
can give birth to a new possibility, Z, that includes and transcends both.
Like the example of independence and intimacy in a relationship.
Right. Held in tension, they don't have to cancel each other out. They can fluidly resolve into interdependence, which contains elements of both, but is something more.
And underlying this is seeing the tension not as opposition, but as complementarity.
Exactly, like breathing in and breathing out.
Yeah.
They're opposite movements, sure, but they're utterly necessary for each other and for life itself.
They define each other.
Precisely. When you see apparent conflicts as complementary forces, you unlock deeper understanding and totally new possibilities open up.
This changes everything for problem solving. Instead of just analysis or just intuition.
You cultivate analytical intuition, both working together.
For leaders, not just directive or empowering.
But directional empowerment, providing guidance and fostering autonomy.
And for learning, not just discipline or curiosity.
But disciplined curiosity, where structure actually enhances exploration rather than stifling it. Embracing these tensions creates much more robust, resilient outcomes.
Wow. Okay, so we've taken quite a deep dive today. We've unpacked this hidden art of process thinking. We moved from seeing static nouns, these fixed things, to embracing dynamic verbs, livate, vidate, dividate, ordinate, which help us actively engage with our own thinking.
We explore those 5 fundamental flows of mind recognition, transformation, pattern, quaternion, self-recursive, that are always moving underneath.
And we discovered how the real magic, the real engine of creativity and innovation, lies in the tension between those fundamental dimensions: flow, transform, pattern, and wholeness.
Turning dilemmas not into problems to be solved, but into engines for progress.
Yeah, and this isn't just, interesting theory.
Is that it all?
It feels like a profound invitation for everyone listening to actually transform their own cognition.
Absolutely. By starting to think in terms of flowing processes, by welcoming those apparent paradoxes as creative fuel.
You increase your mental flexibility, your creative capacity.
Dramatically, in everyday life, in work, in relationships, everywhere.
So as you, listening, go about your day, maybe start noticing your own language.
Yeah, pay attention.
Are you using more nouns or verbs when you talk about your thoughts, your feelings, your challenges?
It's a simple but powerful check-in.
And see if you can spot those both-hand opportunities, those moments where you feel pulled between two opposites.
Instead of forcing a choice.
Ask, what if they could both be true? Or what new thing could emerge if I held this tension differently?
It's fascinating, isn't it? That the very things we usually try so hard to resolve or get rid of, the conflicts, the dilemmas, the contradictions,
They might actually be the source.
they might be the source of our greatest breakthroughs, our most innovative ideas, entirely new possibilities.
So the provocative thought to leave you with is, what tensions in your own life right now might just be waiting to be embraced not as problems, but as creative engines?